so that when I leave you, you have it. And Elisha said, please give me as an inheritance a double share of your spirit. Amen. Please be seated. By the time Elijah and Elisha arrived at the River Jordan, a relationship had been cemented. It was a relationship that could not be torn apart. You may have noted that they walked together and everybody kept saying, you know, your prophet, your leader, the one that you love, is going to leave you today. You know that this is going to happen. He said, I know. Be quiet. I'm not leaving him. And it happened a second time. They kept on going on a relationship that was inseparable, you could say. It could not be broken. That's the way relationships are. Over time, they slowly grow. Over time, those little things start to connect. Friend to friend, partner to partner, parent to child, child to parent. And it is as though those little things in life are those things that start to take on more and more and more importance. The little mementos. Maybe it's a picture. Maybe it's something you brought back from a vacation 20 years ago. And though it might have cost 20 cents at a little stand in Cancun, its memory is priceless. Those relationships start to dig deep into our souls as it did for these two prophets. Elijah is the easy one to know. We even name our boys after him still to this day. But who is this Elisha? This one who's almost the exact same name. Well, he's a prophet in training, you might want to say. He's one that's been following closely this Elijah, who ends up next to Jesus on the mountain. But Elisha knew there was something special and a relationship, one that could not be separated, a relationship that could never be untangled, was built. So much that he walked with him through his final moments. From generation to generation, whether we're prophet to junior prophet, from parent to child, from spouse to spouse, that is that journey. And just as anybody does in preparation, they set together those papers, right? And we find ways from one generation to another to pass the gifts we have. Though difficult at times, we do that because of those relationships, because of that love, because of the importance of an untangled love. It is, you could say, that moving from the known to the unknown. Moving from that which we can see and touch and feel, even in little trinkets from Cancun, into something that we hold so dear. But Elijah and Elisha don't do that. It's often those who are passing forward something of themselves to that next generation. Elisha doesn't get that opportunity. He gets something more. Now, in the 17th and 18th century America, you may have seen some of these last wills and testaments They don't just say, okay, here's my apple orchard. Here's the Bible from England or Scotland or Wales. No, it says, I give you my faith. I give you the love I have for my wife who is your mother. I give that to you. Well, you can't touch that. You can't hold that. It's hard to embrace something like that. But it still was passed on from one to the other. And even then, Elijah says something different. He invites Elisha to choose what he wants. He says, tell me what you want from me. Tell me that which is so important to you about our relationship. Tell me what it is that is knotted, bound, penetrated your life by mine, so that I can give it to you. So, Elisha says, I want a double share of your spirit. Now, a double share doesn't mean 100% of all that I have. A double share is about 2/3. Still haven't fully figured that one out. But what it says back in earlier parts of the Bible in Deuteronomy, it says 2/3 because the eldest son, right, in those days, we've come a long way, thank goodness, but the eldest son was to receive half of everything of the heir, of the father, and all the rest of the kids, all the rest of his siblings received a divvy part of that, what was left over. A double share is 1.5 times, essentially. He wanted 1.5 times the spirit of Elijah. What he wanted was the ability that Elijah had to enter into relationship with people. Now, we like to think of prophets as these people off and about in their own lives, solitary, speaking very difficult words to people who may not want to hear them. Thus says the Lord, we hear throughout the Old Testament. But he could only do that by knowing the people he spoke to. He wanted, that is Elisha, to bear burdens. He wanted, as Elijah did, to wear the mantle of God with the people of God, so that their lives, their pains, their sadness, their joys are weighed on him as well. Think of the depth of relationship that's necessary for those burdens to be borne. There is a friend of mine who served faithful congregations in Africa. And someone in a family died, and they invited he and his wife in to mourn, to weep, to bear. And another missionary came to the same door and said, may I join you? And they said no, because you did not share the joys of life with us as well. The prophet joins all of life, all that one has. That is what Elisha wanted to do. He wanted to be embedded into the people of God so deeply that there was nothing that he couldn't know or understand or fully embrace. He wanted to live the hearts of the not the trinket from Cancun. It is the heart of the loved one.